we were accused of simping for Jerod Mayo during They Said It. 781 text, which says that basically we're ridiculous. Jerod Mayo stands up there yesterday and talks about how great Alex Van Pelt is and about how Alex Van Pelt is the number one factor when it comes to the development of Drake Maye. And we all just simp away and go along with it.
Are people just want to be miserable? They just want to be miserable in this life? Because when it was Belichick never gives anybody their flowers, never gives anybody any praise, is just a miserable pea. And now Jerod Mayo gets up there week after week, gives all the praise to everybody else, stands by his coaching staff, and now you want to say we're simping? Like, give me a break. I think that we've dealt with Jerod Mayo week to week exactly as we see fit.
Right. But is he helping him? Yes. But is he the best option for Drake Maye?
Well, if you look at this team going forward, are you okay? It sounds to me like, and Curtis has been whispered to about this anyway, that Alex Van Pelt is going to remain your offensive coordinator. Are you take the quarterback out of the equation? Because he's a lot of what he's done, I think Scheim is right, is what you expected him to do, and it's the player that he is, not necessarily incredible coaching from Alex Van Pelt. But are you okay with Alex Van Pelt going forward when it comes to the direction of the football team?
As your offense coordinator, no, I'm not. And the reason why I say that is he's been in the league a long, long time. And he hasn't really been given much opportunity to be an OC, to call plays. So generally you would think like there would be a reasoning for that, even though like when he was in Cleveland, was he even actually the play caller as the OC?
He was not. Stefanski was.
Yeah, so that you generally think if somebody's a good offensive coordinator, we know about them. We know about them, and they end up becoming, or their names are on short lists to be head coaches.
Or they're young and they get their first opportunity like the Kubiak kid,
right,
and then you see it. But yeah, my thing, Greg, is very simple with the Patriots. They realize, Jerod Mayo being the one speaking it, that it's not going to change, so you best get on board. We've seen that Drake Maye has become a leader. He's addressed the offense. He's taken control of the team. And the person that is in charge of calling the plays for him is now being supported publicly because they're trying to go all in the right direction. But Wiggy's right. They could absolutely improve it. There's no way that you're telling me that at the end of the season, when Drake Maye performs the way he has, that there won't be offensive play callers that want to coach for the Patriots that would be an improvement over Alex Van Pelt.
On the Subaru of New England text line, which is 37937, find your authorized Subaru retailer at SubaruofNewEngland.com. The situation is a tough one because the instability accelerated the decline of Mac Jones when it came to coordinators. So you run the risk of doing that if you make a change there.
I get that, but when I think of a coordinator like a good one, generally we know who that guy is unless they're a young guy like Curtis brought up. Like we didn't know who Ben Johnson was. We didn't know who Bobby Schlolik was. But those guys got their first opportunities and then did well with them. When you're like an Alex Van Pelt type of coach and you've been coaching a long time in the NFL, I expect when you say his name, I need to be like, oh, like a Josh McDaniels. We talked to Billy O'Brien. Even like Arthur Smith, who's, I believe he's the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, who was in Tennessee, and he was a good coordinator there, then became a head coach, didn't work out, went back to being an OC. We just don't have that same type of, when we hear Alex Smith, Alex Van Pelt, we don't go, oh, yeah, he was a good coordinator. Remember when he was here, he was there. Maybe he wasn't a great head coach, but he was a good coordinator.
Well, Mayo is essentially telling you yesterday that he's a great quarterback coach, is what he's telling you, not necessarily that he's a great coordinator.
Which is true. You can that could be true.
What about this? I know I get the conspiratorial bent, but what if Mayo's trying to make it seem like he gets all the credit for Drake Maye, so he gets another opportunity and they get a new coordinator?
Maybe.
I mean, either way, where they are right now is a good position to be in. They've won 3 games. Many people thought they'd win less than 4.
Yeah, I did.
They have a schedule that is not difficult in the next several weeks.
This week is you can win this football game, but it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I think the Rams are pissed and they're talented. So the Rams are better than their record.
They have 2 great wide receivers, which is going to be an issue. You can put one of the best interviews ever on the radio, Gonzo, on one of those guys. But
I think that it's more that they have an incredible offensive system that makes receivers look unbelievably talented. But the Rams are better than their record. The Patriots are worse than their record. And I don't like that for Sunday, but they absolutely can win. Then they have the Dolphins. So if they end up with 6-7 wins this year, even if they don't get to the playoffs as Courtney hopes, as we all hope, then you have to consider it a success.
Oh, hell yeah. That's just that. And I think if the offense, and maybe it might be because of Drake May, continues to look good, unless there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about, how can you necessarily move on from Alex Van Pelt? Like if Drake May continues to play well and look good, and we're
improve week after week.
Yeah, improve week after week. I mean, there were times we were like criticize Josh McDaniels for some of his play calling, but how can you move on from a guy like Curtis is right and a coach that has turned the team around from 4 wins to 6 wins that when nobody expected them to do anything?
Yep.
I have a coaching question. This was, I don't know what network it was a national show, but obviously the return of Bill is the big national conversation for the Cowboys. We talked about it earlier this week. If you guys were the Cowboys, if you were Jerry Jones, who would you hire? Deion Sanders or Bill Belichick?
Deion.
Wow.
Is Deion going to want to go with his kid?
Probably.
And he's wagering-wise, it appears that Shadeur is going to be the number 1 pick. If you were wagering right now, correct?
I don't believe that's the case.
That's where the odds are.
I thought it was Travis Hunter.
No,
I will double check that.
All right.
I looked this week. It was earlier in the week, so maybe it's changed.
All right, so let's see who has
If you're Shadeur, would you want him with you? I wouldn't.
Greg's right. The odds-on favorite to be the number 1 overall pick is Shadeur Sanders.
Good job, Greg. All right, so Jackson.
Now he could, if Daddy comes, he could do the same kind of thing that's going on with Bronny right now, where where Bronny is in the G League,
right,
and only has to play home games.